Welcome back to the Politics Before You Can Drink podcast. This is the part of the show where we discussed what happened this week, and got a couple things we're going to go over. Got some fun bills coming out of Florida. There's the Don't Say Gay 2.0, the bill that is going to try and ban the Democratic Party, and the one where they have to register with the state to talk negatively about Ron DeSantis. So we're going to start with Don't Say Gay 2.0. Don't Say Gay 2.0. The basic idea here is that before the first Don't Say Gay bill basically said that kids in kindergarten to third grade were not allowed to be exposed to anything gay or trans or anything like that whatsoever. No
Have they
pride flags.
passed that yet?
No pride flags. Yeah, that's been passed for a long time. That's the first
Oh
one's
my!
been passed for a while now. Now they're trying to pass a bill to up that to eighth grade.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's ridiculousness. So I don't, even begin to understand how this is just
What?
their end goal
What
here.
happened?
Their end goal here is genocide. Like I don't want to make that any less clear than it is. Their end goal
Yeah,
here is to erase these people from society, and that starts in schools. It
yeah.
starts,
Like,
yeah,
what even happens to like the gay kid? Like, there's like Gen Z is becoming a lot more progressive now, and so there's like gay kids in eighth grade. What happens to them, or the trans kids? Like, I know this like trans eighth grader. Like, what
they
happens to them?
they are legally required to be closeted
Actually,
at school. They are not allowed to be open about it at school, like under the law. Well, under this law. Right now it's up to third grade, and that's not really something that happens until puberty.
oh
Really.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I get the first one. Really, like I do understand that. My problem relies on
I mean,
we're raising it to people that know about that stuff, that are independent, that are starting to get
well, no,
independent and know their own stuff.
I disagree with you on that because like I just like think like books about like of like not even books about like just being gay, but like home wait, like I'm trying to think of something home. Uh,
Well, yeah. I mean, I
like
guess I
about
did.
gay people that have overcome like accepting themselves for being gay, and you can accept yourself for whatever.
All right.
Like, like
Yeah, no, I get you there. I just think like, a lot of teachers took it too far, and that's why Ron DeSantis responded with this incredibly reactionary bill.
like what?
The no, the Don't Say Gay first one. That's what. Well, they did like stuff like they brought drag queens in to read books to the kids. It's just
Okay, like
that
I'm not
that
saying that drag queens are like pedophiles, but I don't think they're the most like appropriate people.
yeah. But I also think
Uh,
like a lot of what people don't realize is drag is not inherently sexual. This is what the legislatures
Yeah,
of Tennessee didn't realize before they banned drag. Uh, because like Hairspray, the movie Hairspray it's got
yeah.
John Travolta playing a 40-year-old
Oh, I love
white
John
woman.
Travolta. I just
John
watched Pulp
Travolta is
Fiction.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
or like a lot of Shakespeare plays, or even just drag
yeah.
shows in general. Drag is not inherent. Like there
Exception.
are a lot of instances of it being lewd, but it's not. It's not the rule. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all crappy, and that's what they're trying to get on. Is they want to just erase these people. I mean, you
Yeah.
literally had Michael Knowles got up on stage and said today at CPAC, and he said, we have to eradicate trans people from society.
He
Just
said
like
that like
he
out
said
the
that
mouth.
in public on a stage at CPAC, and
What the
with the
fuck?
20 people that were at CPAC, got a standing ovation.
Wait, at P flat? Wait, what?
CPAC. It's like a conservative
Oh.
convention where all the where all the worst people of society go to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just this is not great, and we're kind of this is the road they're going down with bills like this. They're gonna slowly trickle it in to and it starts in the schools. They're trying to make it so people can't so people don't know better. But
Yeah.
that is why I am incredibly proud of my generation. Sometimes when you've had school walkouts all over the state of Florida over this past week, millions of people, particularly in colleges, or not millions of people, but like hundreds of people have walked out of class to go to protest at the state capitol and other like government locations.
Wait, they walked out of what for what?
They walked out of like school because of like the gay bills, and they went down to protest at like the state capital.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this is very good. And
Yeah.
so that's really all I got to say on that. You got anything to add?
Yeah, but no.
All right. All right. So next we have this interesting one that I am 100% sure is unconstitutional.
Well,
This is the bill that recently passed. It basically said any party that in the past had members of the party had supported slavery are no longer allowed to run candidates in the state of Florida. What they're targeting here is the Democratic Party, because that's obviously like the Democrats of the 1800s, supported slavery.
oh yeah, the
Obviously,
swapped roles.
yeah, it's very different. The parties have
Yeah.
have completely swapped around. And if you don't believe me, go to a KKK rally and ask them what party they voted for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Actually, I wouldn't recommend going to a KKK.
Yeah,
rally.
well,
Don't
I
do
mean,
that.
if you're okay, let me rephrase that. If you're white, go to the KKK rally and ask them what they vote.
Well, don't go in general. Don't go in general.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend going in general, but just figure of speech here.
Okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I get
don't
what
go there. I mean, unless you go in there to shoot them, then you gotta.
Yeah.
And then so that's all I gotta say about that. I mean, it's really they're not allowed to do that, and this is not. I can't imagine this would hold up in the Supreme Court if like they actually passed it.
Did they pass it? Wait.
No, if they did, that would not hold up under the Supreme Court. Is just is no.
Just banning an entire political party. I don't really think
that's not allowed. And so now you got the last one, which is even more unconstitutional. Well, actually, I don't know about even more, but it's just as unconstitutional. Which would require media outlets who want to write negatively about Ron DeSantis, if they are located in Florida, they have to register with the state before they're allowed to do that. This is unconstitutional. Literally, Putin did this in Russia, literally a week ago. Like that was something that happened literally a week ago in Russia, and the GOP of Florida were like, you know what? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that.
Yeah. Also, when would they ever accept? Like, when would Ron DeSantis ever accept criticism?
Yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah.
Also, is this not like the most like USSR shit you ever heard?
Yeah, exactly. This is fascism crap. This is the USSR. Yeah. It's like I don't know if he passes this. Like, I don't know, like how he's intending to get reelected after all of this crap. I mean, all it took is like, everybody says it like the Democrats suffered a crushing defeat in Florida in 2022. They really didn't.
Yeah.
The Democratic candidate against Ron DeSantis got like 45% of the vote. It really wasn't that. It really wasn't that. Like drastic. I think with a couple
Democrats in Florida.
Yes. Huh. Yeah, and a lot of like the major cities like Tallahassee and Miami and Orlando voted blue. That's how we got the amazing Maxwell Frost, first Gen Z member of Congress elected. He's from Florida.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And so generally, this is like I don't know how like because if a couple counties flipping in the next election for governor, if he doesn't decide to run for president, it just absolutely destroys them.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, it's time to talk about the big news story of this week. It's Joe Biden's student debt loan plan is reaching the Supreme Court. They are going to decide on whether or not he's allowed to go through with it. And basically, don't know. They get everybody who got a federal student loan gets $10,000 removed, and if you got a Pell Grant, you get $20,000. You get $20,000 removed from it. Don't ask me what a Pell Grant is because I don't know. But I think it's something for like lower income families, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Yeah, and I think this is great. The problem is, we have 3 Trump appointees to the Supreme Court during his presidency, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. But according to a bunch of media outlets, Amy Coney Barrett, who, if you don't know, was Donald Trump's replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg after she died, Um,
Uh-oh.
she is apparently on board. Which means I think we need to because I think it's a 5-4 conservative to liberal justice ratio. So they would need, and there's I think there's I think there's 4 people in total because one of the liberal justice flipped on it and said they don't like it. So they
Mhm.
need one more person to flip, or no, there's need 2 more people to flip, 2 more people to flip for that to go through. And I think it's kind of interesting that we haven't heard about the decision for that yet, because
Yeah.
they went to trial on Tuesday. And there should be you think we'd hear about the ruling by now, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so that is really all I got to say about that.
I,
And yeah, you
I
go.
yeah, what I gotta say is doing that doesn't sound that good.
Yeah,
So it's
I
good
mean,
that everybody's doing
I
this.
think
I'm not.
yeah,
Well, I gotta get more versed into politics. Like all I know is just the gay stuff, and the trans stuff.
yeah. I think this is a lot of this is our first step to you know yeah, I've got places that are charging UNCC charges $2,000 a semester for tuition. I think
Wow.
you know interest rates on federal loans, which which is the only
Could you
option
say that
since
again? You
2008.
glitched out.
Oh, I did. Okay. Uh, two,
Yeah.
uh, UNCC charges $2,000 a semester for tuition. Tuition alone, that's not
Yeah.
even counting your dorm or your books or food. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just got and you've also got with the federal loans have absolutely ridiculous interest rates, and that's been the only option ever since 2008 was federal student
Yeah.
loans. So yes, I'm on board. This is something we should do.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I think this is our first step towards tuition-free college, which is something that needs to be done. Because this
Yeah.
is basic math. You have more people that can get better educated, they get better jobs, and then we have a better society for it.
Yeah. Their economy.
And last and most definitely least, Marianne Williamson is running for president. Uh, if you don't know, she is a grifter. I mean, that's what she is. She is in this for the money. That's all she wants to do.
Oh.
That's what she did in the 2020 election. She sold books, and she's she's like a self-help essential oils guru type person. Yeah.
Was she there for what was her thoughts on COVID vaccines?
I think she was pro-vaccine. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know a lot about her platform, but I think what's more interesting about this is that
Yeah.
this is breaking the tradition, and this is over 100 years of tradition that you don't challenge the incumbent president, or
Women.
somebody inside the party does not challenge the person that is currently in office. Generally, the
Yeah.
entire party is supposed to try and get behind that person to get them reelected. So this opens the door to other people maybe challenging him for the office.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders 2024. Let's do it.
That would be great. Yeah.
He's also he's older than Joe Biden, but still.
Actually.
Yeah, he's like a year older than Joe Biden.
Damn, that's old.
Yeah, so if not him, Elizabeth Warren, she's 74. Yeah. That's significantly better. Or I've heard some people throw around Tulsi Gabbard, who is a representative from Hawaii. Or I think she's the governor of Hawaii. And she's pretty progressive, but she's also at the same time she's moderate enough to where I think she could potentially go toe to toe with Ron DeSantis. And if he decides to run for president, I think even Joe Biden could beat Donald Trump at this point if he's the nomination. But yep. All right. that will conclude the what the heck happened this week segment of the podcast.